Mm-hmm.
We're live. We're live. Are we really live? So, welcome to my home studio. Some of you have been here before. If there's anybody that's going to do this with me. Today we have Winnie joining us. And we're here because our normal space at the church is being occupied tonight. And I didn't want to miss out. And I'm really sore today because I worked in the garden. And I woke up with a neck ache, so I need to do this. So, just like our normal class, what are you laughing at? Oh, Winnie. Winnie, come here. Or go to Dad. Winnie's going to be in and out. There she is. She's going to be all over this yoga practice today, and I wouldn't be surprised if she puts her nose in my butt at some point in time. Oh no, she's going with Dad. Anyway, like normal whole yoga class, we're carrying on with considering the words in red, or the words of Jesus. And so tonight I'll be reading from Matthew 5, verses 21 through 26. And I'm just going to read here in the Message because you know how much I like it. So come into your seated position. Anything that you can maintain with a nice extended spine and be comfortable. You might want a block or a blanket underneath your bottom to help the hips open up. That always feels good to me, so I'm just going to pop myself up there. And there we go. Nice lean forward, helps to draw up. So reading here, Jesus says, "You're familiar with the command to the ancients, do not murder. I'm telling you that anyone who is so much as angry with a brother or sister is guilty of murder. Carelessly call a brother idiot, and you just might find yourself hauled into court. Thoughtlessly yell stupid at a sister, and you are on the brink of hellfire. The simple moral fact is that words kill." This is how I want you to conduct yourself in these matters. If you enter your place of worship and about to make an offering, you suddenly remember a grudge a friend has against you. Abandon your offering, leave immediately, go to this friend and make things right. Then and only then, come back and work things out with God. Or say you're out on the street and an old enemy accosts you. Don't lose a minute. Make the first move. Make things right with him. After all, if you leave the first move to him, knowing his track record, you're likely to end up in court, maybe even jail. If that happens, you won't get out without a stiff fine. So let's take some time to let that sink in a little bit. And really consider the heart of what Jesus is saying. Because I really feel like it's more than just specific actions he's recommending for us. There's something behind this. Yes, it's important for us to understand that he's equating our anger as no less of a sin than murder, right? But I think his heart behind that has less to do with our action and more to do with what's inside. Jesus said words kill. And he's reminding us not to speak in anger, right, as an action. But not only that, but to consider our words and speak the kind words. He tells us to make things right if we know that a friend has a grudge against us. And yeah, it's definitely the action of repairing that relationship. But he tells us to make things right with a friend before we can work things out with God. So it's like, don't be a hypocrite and come to God and expect to be all friendly with him if there's this other issue lurking out there. It's got to be love across the board. And he tells us, if we find an enemy on the street, to make the first move to make things right. And so the broader thought really is, be the first one to restore the broken relationship. And that's hard. Like, we want to nurture that wound, and we want to be the one who gets apologized to. But it seems like as hard as more to be the person who acts first, who moves to make things right, who has a heart of kindness. And so I think the term that sums it all up best is loving generously. So we're generous with people when our anger wants to flare out. We're generous with people to make things right with them. We're generous with people when we make the first move to apologize and restore the relationship. So tonight as we do our yoga, if you're anything like me, you've probably got a few people or situations that have come to mind, or maybe behaviors that are patterns for you. It's a good opportunity to let God speak as we're moving and you're breathing. So we're not going to do anything wild and crazy tonight because I'm sore. You guys are, as usual, along for the ride. Come on over into child's pose. Have some music on. Just ease your hips back toward the heels, stretching the arms forward. Always moving a little bit. Feels good to me. You can hang out in the center if you'd like. Winnie's gonna come and say hello. Good. I'm just gonna flow up here into a tabletop position and then back down into my child's pose. And I'll inhale up to tabletop and then exhale down. And sweeping the hands over toward the left, forehead rest down. And really feel that in the lower back, maybe up around the armpit area. And we'll sweep over to the right. And rising back up again onto all fours. Settle yourself in the center, shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Gently brace through the core. Just breathing here, finding your balance. We'll tuck the toes under, lift the hips toward the ceiling, press the weight back toward the feet, but keep the knees bent. Lengthen through the arms, lifting the belly button. And breathing deeply. Good. And then let's just start to paddle out the feet one at a time. And move forward on the mat a bit. Bending one leg and then the other. Hi, Winnie. Hello. Love you too. Go on, go lay down. Good. My mat is slippery. You'll probably see me slide all over the place. Good. Just loosening up through our hamstrings and calves here. We'll shift forward, lower the knees, and come back onto all fours. Waggle your hips side to side. I'm just looking for areas of tension that might need a little more of our notice and care. Let's take cat and cow. Good. Inhaling, horse. Good, one more set. Good, lower back into your neutral spine. We'll take a gentle cat-cow just through the lower region here. So it's the same motion. We're gonna keep this part out of it and just allow the pelvis to articulate. So we'll inhale, lift that tail up. Exhale, tuck the tail under. Inhale, lift the tail up. Exhale, tuck it under. So you'll feel your tummy muscles working here. One more. Find your center here. Make sure you're drawing up between your shoulder blades. Slide the right foot back behind. Cross it over the left. Take your left ear toward your left shoulder. Can I tell you one of my favorite parts about this is I don't have to mirror and say right when I mean left like I do in class. My right is my right. Thank God. Good, we'll take the right foot back and drop that right hip down, leaning into the right hand. Just breathing naturally. Good, and replace the knee. Take a cat and cow if you like. Find your center again. Slide the left foot back behind, lift it up and over, across the right foot. You're going to take the right ear toward the right hip. Bend. Lifting the left foot, replace it. Dip into that left hip. Leaning into the left hand. Good, and back to both knees on the mat. Keep your knees and your hips where they are. Slide the arms out in front of you, pressing the chest down toward the mat. You can rest your forehead on the mat. Opening through the chest here. Walk your hands back in, bring yourself onto all fours. Tuck those toes down again. This time we're lifting the hips up to downward dog. Finding the center of my mat just so my frame looks pretty. Good. Good. Lifting the tail as we lower the heels. On an inhale, lift that right leg up. We're going to roll the right hip open toward the ceiling, bending the right knee. Weight is even on both hands. Just stretching there through the side body and the belly. Carefully rotate back to the center here. Inhale, exhale, draw the knee to the nose. Place the foot down between the hands. Lengthen your spine. Drop the left knee down, sliding it back so we're in a low lunge. And we're going to lift the shoulders and settle them right above the hips, and immediately you should feel the front of the left thigh there. I'm just going to lower down into this. Lifting the arms up overhead. Really pulling the belly together. Breathing through it. Good. Take your right hand, bring it back around behind to that left thigh. Reach up through the left fingertips, tipping slightly back from the hips. If this is uncomfortable on your right arm, you can always wrap it around your waist. Gently bring both arms up overhead again, lowering deeper into the lunge. Weight even on that front foot. Big inhale, exhale, draw your hips so that they're right back over that left knee. Flex the right foot, fully extended, lowering the chest down. So we're not rounding, no. Long spine. If you need a block to bring the floor up to your fingers, then you need a block. I want you guys to know that Winnie is laying right over there, just out of the shot, very regally. I'm surprised she's not right here. Okay, we're walking back forward into that low lunge. Want to heel toe the right foot over to the side, roll the right knee open. Weight is on the outer edge of the right foot, and again, long spine. So if the floor is too far away, your block is here to help. We'll roll the knee upright, walk the foot back in, tuck the left toes, get your weight underneath you, plant the hands again, extend that right leg back behind, bring it back down to your downward dog. I like a little movement in my downward dog. Let's inhale the left leg up. Exhale, draw that knee forward, plant the foot between the hands and lengthen your spine. Lower the right knee down and slide it back behind you for a nice deep lunge. I got a hip cramp right here. All right, lifting the shoulders, settled above the hips, raising the arms up overhead. Lower the shoulders down though. Lower the groin down toward the floor. Enjoy your breath. Maybe asking God to show you when you've spoken in anger. Take the left hand back to the right thigh, lift up through the right fingertips, stretching back from the hip. Good. Both arms up overhead. That may be dizzy. And I'm going to back the hips up so that they are settled above the right knee, flexing my left foot. And I've got a little dysfunction in my low back on the right side. It does not like this extension, so I'm really going to modify and bring the floor a lot closer to me because I want my spine to stay intact as I lower my chest toward my knee. Good, just breathing. We'll rock forward again into the left foot. Heel toe that foot over toward the left side. Roll the left knee open. It's not going to feel the same as the other side because we're imbalanced. Roll the foot back, place the hands down, tuck the right toes, lifting the right leg, slide the left leg back and through, Again, we're lowering the knees, coming to all fours for cat and cow with your on breath, inhaling and exhaling. One more cycle. Good. Find your center. Brace through the upper back. So we do not want to sink down into the shoulders, but lift. Slide the right foot back behind. Lift the toes up so that your leg is one level line. Don't allow the right hip to lift, but lower. Level hips. Extending the left arm out in front. Level with the shoulder. Really reaching through fingers and toes. Do not sink into the right hand. Lifting. Replace hand and knee. Find your balance again. Slide the left leg out behind. Hold the core together as you lift that left leg up. Make sure the hips are level to the floor. Sliding the right arm out. Hand level with the shoulder here. Neck is neutral. Breathing in, full exhale, replace hand and feet. I need a quick child's pose because I've built up some tension in my low back, which is unhappy. Good stretch for the low back. Moving on, you can stay where you are on your mat. I'm just gonna face you because I need more room. Come up onto your knees. When he's not asleep now. Slide that right leg out to the side. Can you flatten the palm of your foot down to the floor? Right arm's gonna slide down the right leg. Roll the left shoulder down and back. Lift the left hand up toward the ceiling. You can hold here or you can take the left arm over toward the right. Don't want to let the left shoulder roll in. We want to keep it open toward the ceiling. Breathing deep. Next exhale takes us over to the left. Left hand plants down on the mat. Right arm comes straight up. And then bicep to ear, reaching to the left. For a little extra something, you can roll the right shoulder up and back behind you. Really opening through the chest and side body. Good. Come back into your neutral side position. We're going to roll the right hand down toward the left. Bring both knees to the mat. Slide into the center. Take a small little child's pose here. Rocking back and forth through the hips. Press back up onto your knees. Find a good posture before you slide the left foot over. We'll slide the left hand down the left leg. Bring the right arm up toward the ceiling. Focusing on this shoulder here. We want it to stay open as you reach the right arm toward the left. Gaze wherever your neck feels comfortable. We thought a little bit about times we've spoken in anger. And now we think, Lord, can you show us if there's anybody that there's a bad feeling between us? Let's take that right arm up and over. planting down on the mat and protecting my low back, if you can't tell. Good, so right hand is down on the mat. We want to square those hips so the left hip is pointing up toward the ceiling. We take the left arm up toward the ceiling as well. And then bringing the left arm overhead, bicep to ear. So feel the extension from fingers to toes. And again, a little extra here would be to open the left arm up and back behind. Really stretching deeply across the chest. We'll come back into our fully extended line from finger to toe on the left side, sweeping the left hand down to the floor. You can bring yourself back into a child's pose. Inhale up to all fours. Tuck your toes under, come back into downward dog. And what would my yoga class be like without some sort of sneaky core work? So it's not so sneaky if I tell you about it. We're going to walk the hands back to the feet and walk the hands out, coming into plank with the hips low and level with the rest of the body. Exhale. Inhale, walking the hands back to the feet, very controlled. Good, and then you're walking back forward. Find your full extension and lower your hips to plank. Do not dip into the shoulders. Strong in the upper back and core. Hands walk back. And out. See if you can keep your hips level and steady as you're doing this. And hands walking back. Hi, Miss Wynn. One more time out. Take your plank and hold. Knees down is fine. Knees up is also fine. Belly is pulling together. Good. Back to downward dog here. This time walk your feet forward to meet your hands. We're going to take forward fold. We've been working on forward fold. Not so much trying to get our head down to the mat or our fingers down to the mat, but to see where we land with the long spine. So if I keep my spine lengthened, I'm not flexible, right? I don't want to lean back into my heels. I want my weight fully planted on the full surface of my foot, so my hips are over my ankles. If my spine is long, I don't look very flexible, but I'm increasing my flexibility here in my hamstrings instead of pulling my head down. Really working on belly to thigh. And I'll just use my block. Micro bend in the knees. We don't want to lock out. And we'll drill a little deeper here, drawing the belly toward the thigh. The longer we hold this, the more we gain flexibility. There's no hurry. Now, let's go ahead and take the deep fold. So let your head drop down. Try to keep the shoulders back in joint. In fact, bring your hands behind and take your calves in your hands. And drawing your shoulders down and back will help you to maintain a long spine. If you bend your elbows, drawing your belly closer to your thighs. You're going to bend into the right knee. Let the right hand come down to the mat, straightening through the left leg. Roll the left shoulder out toward the ceiling. Hand can stay back on the hip or lift it toward the ceiling. Play a little with your weight distribution. You might find yourself sinking back into that left heel again. Really wanting to press yourself forward so that your weight is evenly distributed. So maybe you're down at the floor like this, or maybe you're up on a block. Good. I'll bend both knees. Take a deep knee fold. I'm just going to turn myself toward the camera so you can see the other side. So I'll bend into the left knee. Definitely need a block on this side. Roll the right shoulder up toward the ceiling, straightening the right leg. And I lift my right hand up. Bending both knees, rotate back down toward the mat, drop your head down, tuck your hands underneath your toes, knees are bent, let the head hang. At this point, we're going to be sideways on the mat for a little while. In this hanging position, go ahead and heel toe the feet out so that they're about hands width apart. In. Let the toes point forward and just slightly inward. You'll feel that extra stretch on the outside of the low calf. Lengthen your spine, not rounding. Long extended spine. And we're just working the chest down toward the mat. Turn the feet this time so that the toes are pointing outward, maybe 10 and 2. Bend your knees. Good, and just do a little rock side to side. Maybe straighten one leg and then the other. Good, and then we're going to lift the chest up and place the hands on the knees. So we want to draw, what in the world are you eating? Hey, Clara! When you got into the trash again. Okay, my butt needs a break. Oh, she is so naughty. All right, people. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to get the knees pressing out toward the little toes. And we don't want to drop the belly forward. We want to tuck and lengthen the tail and lift the chest up. So muscles that are working, I'm sure you're feeling them, right? Very good, just hold. I was shifting forwards, I had to remind myself. Draw my shoulders back over my hips. Good. And let's take this lower, so we're going to straighten the left leg up and really deep into that right leg. And go ahead and drop your hips down to your heel. If you're more flexible than me, maybe your heel stays on the mat. I'm not there, so I'm going to do this. Resting on my heel. Left foot is flexed. We're open through the chest, really stretching the inner left thigh. Good. Just breathing here. On our inhale, we'll take the hips high And we're going to shift over into the left foot. So bend deep into the left knee, straighten the right leg, hips come down to the heel, flexing the right foot and spine is lengthening, chest open. Nice stretch through the right foot, right inner thigh. Miss Winnie has a bad habit of eating the trash. Good. One more time, lifting the hips up in center, toes pointing forward. We'll take this fold here. Maybe you want to grip your toes with your fingers, coming through between the big toe and the second toe, legs straight. You're just going to allow your head to drop down toward the mat, keeping the spine long and the shoulders back in their joints. And breathing. Release the hands, plant them on the mat. Heel toe the feet a little wider than hip distance, and you're just going to rock yourself down. Normally we would do our yogi squat. I guess we could do it. Wasn't part of the plan, but whatever. Here we are. You need your block under your tail. You can sit on that and draw yourself upright this way. Or you can do it without your block. Good. We'll take the block away. Bring yourself all the way down onto the mat. Legs crossed, one in front of the other. I told you guys my back hurts today, so we're gonna stretch my back out. Always finding a good posture here. Shoulders are lowered. Head is lifting up out of the shoulders. Keeping the spine in that form, you're gonna lower your chest down and out. Good. And maybe your forearms find the block, or maybe they find the floor. Just leaning into this, stretching out the right hip and the low back. If you'd like to change the position of your block and set your forehead on it, that's good. And as we start slowing down here, time to consider, is there a relationship that God would have you restore? Making the first move, loving generously. Good, we'll press back up. Find your seated posture. Draw that chin down and back. Let's reach the arms up overhead. Inhale, exhale, take the left hand to the right knee, right hand back behind. Roll the right shoulder back, press tall, and exhale into that twist. It's not about the head getting all the way back there. It's really about that right shoulder opening up, your shoulder blades drawing together, and the twist is coming through your midsection. And let's roll back into the center. Switch the feet, one in front of the other. Posture first. Inhale and exhale, dropping If you'd like to lower the head and rest. There you go. Back up, align your spine, gentle chin draw backwards. We'll inhale the arms up, exhale right hand to left knee, left hand behind, inhale tall, exhale open the left shoulder behind you, twisting through. Center. Bring both hands back behind you. Roll your shoulders down and back, really opening the chest. You'll walk your hands back as much as you need to, lifting the heart up to open up your chest. Shoulders down and back. You can drop your head just slightly. We don't want a big, giant curve. Your cervical spine needs to be supported. Draw your belly in, tuck your tail under, bring yourself back upright. You want to sit down? Okay. Come here. You can sit with us and do your neck rolls. Sit down. Sit. No. All right, guys, we're almost done. Sit down. I can't do it with you in front of me. Go. Go. Okay. We're going to stretch the neck if Winnie ever gets out of the way. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Backwards. And forward. Very good. Take the right ear to the right shoulder, very gently. Maybe a little pressure with the right hand up on the top of the head. Just real gently. Drawing in the ear closer to the shoulder. Turn your head so that your chin is pointing down toward the armpit. Bend your forehead into it. Maybe you'll find a new muscle. Gentle breathing. Roll the chin across the chest very gently. We're going to let the left ear rest toward the left shoulder. And in these last moments that we have together, if there's anything God has shown you tonight, just be asking if there's a step He wants you to take. Something you need to pray, someone you need to talk to. Turn the chin, looking down toward the left shoulder, lowering the forehead into it. Rolling the chin across the chest. Find the center of your chest. Let your head hang. Bring both hands back to the crown of your head. Gentle pressure here to round the neck into the stretch. Lengthen your lift your head back up. Bring your hands behind your head. Pull the elbows back behind. Inhale, exhale, drop the left hand down. Bring the right arm up and over. Keeping the right shoulder lifted. Inhaling, sweep through, switch sides. Right hand drops down, left arm reaches up, side bend to the right. Inhale, both arms up, reach through the fingertips. Exhale, bring hands to prayer, down to your heart. Lengthen through the top of your head, relax your shoulders. Full breaths in and out. Loving generously. God, we ask for courage and humility to love people generously the way that you love us. So you can find your own practice to do. But we are on the second Sunday in May. Seated.